Tragedy hits Vidéo in the North region. A family lights up an insecticide, but in the long run, it provoked a wildfire that razed houses and on its way left 13 persons dead. An interministerial delegation goes up to the far north region after the September visit to ensure that government's instructions on constructions of new bridges and roads are being respected. Plus, in BAMENDA, the city council has disclosed plans of constructing a modern shopping center at the BAMENDA food market area to decongest the site. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 news. I am Benen Bumagana. I am in Yaoundé.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
28th of November 2020, once again, welcome. We open with this official telegram from His Excellency President Paul Biya of the Republic of Cameroon to His Excellency Ili Meta, President of the Republic of Albania, congratulating the President of Albania for the celebration of their National Day this 28th of November, wishing the President of Albania and his people good health, peace and prosperity. This other official telegram is to His Excellency Ould Gahwanzi, President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. They are celebrating their National Day today, and His Excellency President Paul Biya wishes them health and peace for the nation of Mauritania. 13 persons of the same family have been razed to death in a fire accident in Vidéo, chief town of the Mayoluti division of the North region. Sources say the fire that consumed the houses was as a result of burning an insecticide. Vanessa Woodnanks-Namung, please tell us that story.
Shock and confusion characterized the atmosphere at Sangere 3, a neighborhood of Vidéo, chief town of Mayoluti division, this Friday morning upon discovering the burnt bodies of 13 persons, among them men, women and children from the family of late Alhaji Sali Ambo, after a fire broke out in the early hours of the morning.
I was informed at about 2 a.m. that our family house was on fire. Upon arrival, there was no way to enter. An insecticide called Muntega that was burning in the living room against mosquitoes caused the fire.
11-year-old Abdul, one of the victims of the fire incident who survived the flames, came out with injuries and is now responding to medical care at the district hospital in Vidéo. The 13 corpses have already been buried in conformity with the Muslim tradition, leaving family members and the population in pain and distress.
We said in the headlines that an interministerial delegation is up in the north, but this time in Maroua, City Council takes palliative measures to enable movement after collapse of the bridge. The mayor of Maroua City Council has reassured that palliative measures have been taken to facilitate movement pending the reconstruction of the bridge. Let's hear more from Ayuk John Ashu in Maroua.
Pending the reconstruction of the collapsed Pala Bridge, authorities of the Maroua City Council have been working out a palliative to ease movement.
To open another deviation, which our transporters will use.
Accompanied by the personnel of the technical services, the mayor of Maroua City also made an assessment of ongoing rehabilitation of some parts of the urban road network and the drainage system contained in the council's development plan for 2020.
Here in Dugoy, after Pitoare, after Jarengol, after Lopere, the work on the field is going very well.
Here and there, the top municipal official gave directives for the acceleration of work so that inhabitants of Marwa could feel the real impact of the city council at their service.
We'll be hearing more about the visit of the interministerial team in this newscast. But now, staff of the General Directorate of Taxation begin work on Monday in a new ultra-modern edifice inaugurated Friday by the Prime Minister and Head of Government, Joseph Dion Gute. The new building is expected to boost the working spirit of the staff and step up revenue collection to meet government's development strategy for the 2020-2030 period. Christian Che Atam reports.
The inauguration of the new headquarters of the Directorate General of Taxation comes at a time when government has just launched Cameroon's new development roadmap for the 2020-2030 period. The Taxation Department, already an important part of government's fundraising scheme, will once more be called to show proof of creativity in broadening the tax base despite the economic and health challenges the country and the world are facing today.
It is in line with the ambition that the head of state has chosen for the option of consolidating the public finance of our country and its external accounts with emphasis on increasing non-oil revenue. In this approach, the Director General of Taxation has a key role to play. It contributes over 60% of state revenue and maintains a major player in the mobilization of resources of regional, local authorities and certain public institutions.
The building, which offers a possibility to gather different taxation services in one place, is expected to improve coordination for better output. Thus, the staff must be well disposed.
I urge them to stay on course towards performance and to set an example of probity, avoiding the paths of corruption that unfortunately some tax officials, amongst others, have taken.
To whom more is given, more is expected. As government offers better working conditions, it will be counting on the Directorate of Taxation to contribute more towards funding development in the country.
Let's go over to the National Assembly now, where the Minister of State for Tourism and Leisure, that of Justice, as well as the Minister of Higher Education have defended the 2021 budgetary allocations before the Finance and Budget Committee of the National Assembly, headed by Honorable Rosette Ayayi. The Minister of External Relations also faced the committee. Charles Ebune followed their budgetary priorities of the upcoming year and now reports.
One of the sectors adversely affected by the outbreak of the coronavirus globally and locally, the Ministry of Tourism and Leisure will function with a budget of nearly 9 billion CFA francs within the next year.
Given the sanitary context, we consider it as a must to continue organizing seminars on sanitation, on security.
On the heels of the Minister of State for Tourism and Leisure came his counterpart of Higher Education, Jacques Famendongo, to defend a budget of roughly 55 billion CFA francs with focus on the digitalization of the higher education system.
Improve the quality of digitalization of training in the universities.
For some time now, a portion of the Cameroonian diaspora has been a headache to the image of the country globally. With a budget of roughly 30 billion CFA francs for 2021, the Ministry of External Relations will continue with the protection of Cameroon's interests abroad, but more importantly, the management of the country's diaspora.
Our diplomacy will be tooled enough to be able to not only provide the working conditions for our staff here but abroad, in terms of human resources, in terms of structural resources like embassies and all of that. So we are pleased that the members of the Commission did agree to adopt the budget we presented.
At the National Assembly, with a budget of roughly 24 billion CFA francs, part of the investment budget will be spent on the construction of the new edifice of the National Assembly.
It has been said that, and we have agreed that most of the investment budget should be spent for the immobile stage of the National Assembly.
And at the Ministry of Justice, with a budget of roughly 60 billion CFA francs, part of the money will be used to continue in the modernization of the penitentiary administration. The Minister of State for Justice and Keeper of the Seals, Laurent Esso, told members of the Budget and Finance Committee of the National Assembly.
The December 6 regional council elections will take place in 272 polling stations across the national territory. The list of the polling stations was published yesterday by the Director General of Elections, Dr. Eric Esuse. Kilian Datndifon takes a look at the repartitioning of the polling stations less than 10 days to voting day.
It is in respect of Section 261 Sub 2 of the Electoral Code, which states that polling stations shall be determined by the Director General of Elections, that Dr. Eric Esuse, the ELECAM competent authority, made public the list of polling stations for the December 6 Regional Council elections. The November 27 publication, less than 10 days to the polls, gives a total of 272 polling stations across the national territory. Given that the number of voters differ in each region, the polling stations are equally not the same. In keeping with Section 261 Sub 1 of the Electoral Law, which says voting shall be conducted in the headquarters of each division, all the 272 polling stations are placed in the headquarters of the divisions. The distribution of the polling stations also obeys Section 96, Sub 3 and 4 of the Electoral Code, which specify that there shall be one polling station for a maximum of 500 electors, which polling stations shall be located in public premises or premises open to the public.
Let's go over to Douala, where the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development has launched a project in the economic capital to enhance market gardening in peri-urban areas of Boya and Douala. The project, financed by the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, seeks to curb food insecurity, improve market gardening in order to provide a fresh variety of to the population. Let's listen to Madon Kwele in this report.
Statistics from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development reveals that 16% of Cameroon's population suffers from food insecurity, with major causes the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. The ministry, represented by its boss, Gabriel Mbairobe, in partnership with the Food and Agricultural Organization, launched a 2-year project to enhance market gardening in peri-urban areas in Douala and Boya.
Market gardening is a project who will enhance the capacity of the population to fight against hunger and tackle the food insecurity.
Boya and Douala have been chosen for the project for specific reasons.
We have chosen Boya and Douala cities because of the high number of IDPs, but also because of the available huge potential in terms of marketing, vegetable production.
Minister Mbairobe later visited the Technical School of Agriculture in Dibombari, where he encouraged the students to promote agriculture in the country. He promised to offer some equipment to the trainers and learners and announced the construction of a market in Dibombari.
From the littoral to the Northwest region, the Northwest Agency for the Promotion of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises says the livestock, fisheries and agribusiness sectors in the region are badly hit by unemployment. Many businesses in the sector have folded on account of the socio-political crisis. As such, 40 entrepreneurs are currently undergoing a training on ways to survive in business in spite of the challenging times. Ola Titanki reports.
The role of these 40 entrepreneurs is to follow up already existing businesses to ensure its sustainability and to coach young entrepreneurs on their business ideas. Statistics from the Northwest Regional Delegation of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises indicate that since 2011, more than 2,321 enterprises have been set up under the one-stop shop, but the socio-political crisis and the health crisis COVID-19 have caused several of them to fold up. The Agency for the Promotion of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, with its new program dubbed Start and Improve Your Business, is expected to revamp the business atmosphere in the region.
We want to have locally based experts on the ground who can serve as coaching. Business coaching is extremely very important for a business to work.
The program in its pilot phase will run till 2022, targeting 1,000 entrepreneurs in each region.
Let's stay in Bamenda, where the Bamenda City Council has disclosed plans of constructing a modern shopping center at the Bamenda Food Market area to decongest the site. This is one of many projects that have been earmarked for the year 2021 with a budget of over 4 billion CFA francs that was adopted during the 4th ordinary session of the City Council. Karin Tosam Nali has details from Bamenda.
The road network within the Bamenda city has greatly dilapidated in the last few years, making circulation challenging for its users. The Bamenda City Council hopes to turf a 5-kilometer stretch of road within the city in 2021.
We're going to rest this responsibility on the sub-divisional council, and we're going to ensure that where we're going to work on does not conflict with the projects which are already in view by the C2D, the World Bank project.
Plans are also in the pipeline to construct a modern shopping center at the Bamenda Food Market.
We want to make sure that everyone who wants to trade should have a store. And we want to evacuate our streets from hawkers and clear the place of kiosks. We can't clear them off the streets without giving them a place to sell. We want them to go to the stores which we're going to construct.
The senior divisional officer of MESAM, Simon Emile Mo, during the budgetary session, appealed to municipal councillors to perform their civic duty by voting on December 6, 2020.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Time for us now to cut into the second canto and talk about the fight against COVID-19. Over in the South region, health officials are taking measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in schools, as has been witnessed in the littoral and west regions. Health officials say they have put in place a task force which is working daily to halt the spread of the virus. Let's now join Baldwin Samara Public Health Emergency Center with his guest to talk about this. Hi, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Ben and Bumagana. This Saturday, we take you over to the South region of the country to meet the Incident Manager number 2 at the South Regional Delegation of Public Health, Dr. Moise Mangaze, to get the latest updates as far as the spread of the coronavirus is concerned. Dr. Moise Mangaze, good evening.
Good evening.
Explain to us how stable is the epidemiological situation in the South region of the country.
The overall epidemiological situation shows that we have already tested more than 38,000 people in the South region. Among them, we registered 682 positive cases, and 634 of them are declared cure, and we had 15 deaths. Now we currently have 20 active cases in the South region. Among them, 17 of them are from the Kribi Health District. That shows that we have a little resurfacing of cases in the district of Kribi.
And finally, Doctor, after the recent sudden rise in the number of students tested positive for COVID-19 in the littoral and west regions of the country, what precautions have you put in place at the level of the south region of Cameroon to avoid a similar situation?
We have remobilized our staff in charge of border health posts in order to strengthen surveillance at all the boundaries. We also continue our isolation of all positive cases and do contact tracing of all the cases of the people who have been in contact with these positive cases. We also recommend systematic checkup of patients and the entrance points of all our health facilities and active case finding in the community through massive testing, not forgetting the sensitization of population on the respect of safety measures.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maurice Mangaze, for being a guest this evening. Benin Bumagana, that's the situation in the south region of Cameroon. As tomorrow, Sunday, we shall be taking you over to the far north region of the country. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
And thank you, Baldwin, Samaf and Cayman. Take good care of yourself. I said it. Let's go over to Ngaoundéré, where the University of Ngaoundéré has expressed a willingness to accompany the country achieve its emergence by 2035. This was during a seminar on innovation, entrepreneurship, and quality assurance chaired by Professor Ufe Chinchi Melo. Let's get details from Gerard Nanji Eyambe.
According to the National Development Strategy document 2020-2030, Cameroon is witnessing a downward trend in its innovation drive. In order to accompany the country achieve the cherished emergence, the University of Ngaoundéré has embarked on an innovation and entrepreneurship offensive.
In the university, we train students. A good number, the cream of the society comes to the university. And the University of Ngaoundéré has a good number of technology schools. The different projects we have, not only for us, even as students, will be able to inculcate innovation and entrepreneurship into the minds of the student.
According to experts, innovation is about devising strategies to solve societal equations.
You innovate really to create a better community for everyone, and it's something that we all can do. And if we all participate in innovation, then we can create a better environment for all of us.
This seminar on innovation, entrepreneurship and quality assurance is poised to change the trends with new business models, creating value-added products and services, and branding to sustain success.
Still talking about entrepreneurship, our seminar, the second edition of the Global Entrepreneurship Week in Cameroon on the theme Entrepreneurship, a Sustainable Inclusive Development Tool for Women, has ended in Yaoundé with a strong resolve to build entrepreneurship spirit amongst women. Let's listen to Joyce Tata in this report.
The Global Entrepreneurship Week's curtains drawn in Yaoundé on a positive note, a week-long period of intense exchange on how to be autonomous and respond to society's need appropriately as a youth.
Over the last few days throughout the country, a lot of entrepreneurs have been involved in a series of activities organized by our regional delegations. It was possible to mobilize entrepreneurship clubs in schools. My feeling is that there is booming interest in entrepreneurship development in our country.
170 countries across the globe observe the Global Entrepreneurship Week, given its importance in today's world. Minister Achille Basilican III, while officially putting a cap on 2020's edition, voiced out plans of holding an international colloquium on entrepreneurship come 2021 with competent experts to disseminate the right knowledge needed to boost the sector in Cameroon.
The teaching of the new information and communication technologies has been given a boost in the Upper Plateau Division. This follows the launch of the training of some 200 students in ICDs by the resident representative of the African Institute of Computer Sciences, known by its French acronym as IAI, that is Amanclaude Abanda. From Baham, Go Henry Thier Sambe reports.
GBHS Baham, with some 2,000 students, including 300 displaced students, has had the prerogative to be the focal point of the African Institute for Computer Sciences in the Upper Plateau Division. The institution can boast of an equipped multimedia center by the Global Capacity Building Foundation. The president of the foundation, Professor Justine Defoe, said it was to promote the teaching of the new information and communication technologies, ICTs, in the entire Upper Plateau.
The mere fact that Professor Justine Defoe launched this foundation and started in a place where a lot of people have been displaced, it's a very good sign. I would be more than willing to help, to accompany this project.
The resident representative of the African Institute for Computer Sciences, Amanclot Abanda, during the event launched the training of some 200 students in ICTs in the division. The principal of GBHS Baham, like the president of the Baham Development Committee, expressed gratitude on behalf of the beneficiaries. Upper Plateau SDO Yampen Usmanu has enjoined the school officials and the students to avail themselves of the opportunity and improve on the quality of teaching and learning in the institution.
And with that report, we come to the end of the 7:30 news this evening. Lucrece Mebenga is going to be here at 8:30 p.m. for the news. And right after that, you will meet Dudu Nicole and Gladys Tata for the campaign news as far as the regional elections are concerned. I'll be back here tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.